So one of our principles at Fabric is knowing that the only way to truly get to Code Blue is to have honesty without judgment. Now that applies to a few different areas of the Body Life Skills program. But the first area is just our body. A lot of the time we judge our body to be right or wrong. Well, that's not actually the case. Our body is just our body. But our body is this amazing way of communicating to us how we're experiencing life. And sometimes through our body is going to present symptoms that we may prefer not to have. Or our body is going to present behaviours or words or thoughts or feelings that we may prefer not to have. But if we judge those behaviours and words and thoughts and feelings to be wrong, then we're never going to get to the honesty of why they're actually occurring in the first place. So my approach to understanding behaviour, whether that be mine or another person's behaviours or their body, is to simply say yes, they're at Code Blue, or no, they're not at Code Blue. But Code Blue is not right, and Code Green and Yellow and Orange and Red are not wrong. Yeah, they're all an amazing way of communicating to us, and we need to approach it from that understanding that we just need to observe the body, never ever to judge it. If I was to make my behaviours wrong, then I'm never going to get to step 2, because I'm going to pretend that they're not happening, or I'm going to deny. And we miss out on identifying when the person is going up the scale. Whereas Code Green behaviours may be a little bit unwanted, yeah, but it's communicating to us. And if we're honest that that communication has just occurred, we get to go to step 2 quicker. But if we're not honest, we pretend that it's not there. And so before we know it, we're at Code Yellow. And then before we know it, we're at Code Orange and then Code Red. But if we're just simply honest and say, yes, my body is higher than Code Blue, and then we go to step 2, I wonder why. And the I wonder why is coming to the part of life. From there, we also need to say, there is no part of life that we must have self-mastered. There is no part of life that we must have the skills to respond to. Every single person in this world has strengths, and every single person in this world has their own areas of weakness as well. Every single person has the parts of life they've mastered and other parts of life they're not mastered. But if we judge the part of life that we haven't yet mastered to be wrong, we can never get to step 3. We can never develop the skills to self-master that part of life. So the honesty without judgment is simply saying, yes, my body's higher than blue. Don't make that wrong. It just is. Yes, that person's body's higher than blue. Again, that's not wrong. Let's just observe that and say, I wonder why. Yeah, so my favourite question is saying, I wonder why. When we get to the I wonder why, what's the part of life that that person does not perceive completely equipped to respond to? Not judge that, not make that wrong, not compare it and say, well, they should have already mastered that part of life, or they're 30 years of age, they should have that sorted by now. That's not the approach we're after. Yeah, so we just simply say, there's the part of life. And now that we've identified that part of life, we've got the complete understanding. And so with that honesty, we've got the understanding that that takes us to step 3, that says now we can develop the skills. But without developing the skills, that part of life will continue to be a trigger. So without honesty, with our body, we don't identify we've gone higher than blue. Without honesty, we don't identify the part of life that we would benefit from having the skills to develop. Yeah, so as soon as we have judgment, it stops the process of the Body Life Skills program. And as I've always said, the Body Life Skills program is based on understanding and changing behaviour. But understanding and judgment cannot exist together. As soon as you judge yourself, the part of life that we're struggling with, or judge any other person, then there is absolutely no understanding. So honesty without judgment allows understanding, which then allows us to go through the process of bringing lasting behaviour change.